I'm Paul Wilkinson, and we're filming from Kathmandu, where I've been based for the last 7 years, making documentaries about Nepali culture and about shamanism, also filming all the festivals. And I'm deeply involved in the ritual objects and ritual life, studying the processes of giving offerings, of doing sort of ritual magic in shamanism, and that general process of how people interact with the gods and with the spiritual dimension. So this is a sort of a side project. I also collect and deal in ritual objects, and so over the last 7 years I've been gathering up all these moulds that are for making the clay offerings. These offerings are many hundreds of years old, and you can see that they're on the back. They've got the handprints from the long dead people with the fingerprints and the palm prints, and which is sort of incredibly touching in a way. So these are used inside Buddhist stupas, and they're given as devotional gifts when people go on pilgrimage, and they represent a lot of different gods. So that here you've got Shiva and Parvati in a sort of as lovers, and again this very raw quality. But unfortunately, over the years, they're no longer in use. I've never seen one of these be given. I've never seen one sort of by a temple or by a sort of a chorten or a stupa when you're travelling in the mountains. They've often been sort of probably picked up, and people have just stopped using them. So I wanted to try and reintroduce them because I think they're wonderful things, and if they were being remade and reused, I think that it would reanimate something which was very nice in the culture. So over the last 7 years, I've been systematically buying the moulds whenever I find them in antique shops. So some of these are bronze. This one I think is probably Bhairav. It's quite hard to see exactly what god it is until you make the mould. So I've arranged for some ceramic friends, some potter friends in Pottery Square in Bhaktapur to help me, and quite soon we're going to go and we'll take all of these and a few other things that I have, and we'll begin the whole process of making them. So we've already begun remaking these hanuman oil lamps. So you see we've got hanuman here, again the very rough rustic thing. So these would be, it's just sort of clay that's come out of the ground locally, and then fired usually with straw from the rice fields. And there's a little bit of variety. So this is also another hanuman, and the triangle is like the traditional doorways as well for the temples. And here's another one as well. You can see they have a wonderful feeling about them. The old ones have now become quite valuable and rare and difficult to find, but there's no reason why this object shouldn't be made relatively cheaply and become something that's common again in the culture. So as a sort of side project, I'm just trying to get this going again. So already I've had people begin to make these, and so some of the moulds are just clay like that, where you'd have had a figure, and then they put in a very fine dust to stop the clay from sticking to it, and they'll make the mould, press the figure in, and then pull it out again. That one looks like some sort of standing Tara, but I'm not quite sure until I get it. There are other objects like this as well, which are like a stand for something, but again very nice. You see with the sort of lotus, but something that can be mass produced, because if you have the mould, you can make them. I don't know where they've gone, but I had some stupa ones as well, which I haven't got here. So here you've got a Tibetan amulet with the two fish under an umbrella, and that's a symbol for fertility and fecundity and good luck, good fortune, for sort of wealth and abundance and fertility. Here are very old amulets for Ganesh. You can see on the back the palm prints again where they've been made, and there's slight variations, so maybe the same mould has been used over even hundreds of years, a different type of clay being used there. This one, I have been told his name. He's like the little Tibetan dwarf figure, and then the Buddha with lots and lots of arms and a sword. It's a real variety. That, I'm not sure what that is. It's possible Hanuman, or maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure who that is. It has a slightly female look, so maybe Kamari. So whenever I found these, I've tried to get as much variety as I can. These are very old moulds, and they're pretty expensive to buy. So these are made of bronze, and then I've got, so this you can see with the 3 Buddha figures and a stupa down below. This one's old, and this has got the same design or similar design, not identical, but it's a little bit newer. Still old, still at least 100 years old, whereas that might be 300 or 400 years. And another similar one, but you see the shape, the outer shape is different, and the designs in the Buddhas are also different. One of my favourite, one of the ones that I started out with, was this, and it's Buddha's life. So it's the birth of Buddha. So this is Buddha's mum, and the Bodhi tree, or there's Buddha, and I can't remember who these 2 figures are. You see the figures also in the tankas, and these are given as like magical good luck offerings when a woman's pregnant, to bring the safety for the baby and the good luck for the birth and good luck for the mother. So really quite beautiful, and you see the same image in some tankas. And then I found another version of the same thing, so with the tree and Buddha's mum again and the Buddha. And it's said that Buddha was sort of born and could walk immediately and took 7 steps. So these lotuses here represent the steps. I've seen that same iconography in some tanka paintings about Buddha's life, and these 2 figures again. So really, that's also a bigger version of the same thing, as a sort of offering as a protection for the women. That one is Yama with his female consort. So you can see with the buffalo head, and the head's up above the god of death. And that's you see the leg of his female consort that he's holding in a sort of tantric embrace, and with the handprint again on the back. And another Yama, all slightly different, with the lotus shrine. But I've been collecting these for a long time, maybe for 30 years, and I have a small collection in England, but because I'm based here and the various antique dealers know that I'm looking for them, every time they come up, they tell me, and if I can afford it, I'll get them. It's hard to say. That possibly is Bhairav. It looks a bit like Bhairav. It's hard to read it, isn't it? With you see the diagonal legs coming down, and the figure. The thing that made me think it was Bhairav is this looks like the figure of the demon that he's vanquished, that he's treading on, and just sort of nice object. And that one I think is possibly green Tara. See the head. It'll be very exciting once we start making them. So really interesting. And then what else have we got? Yeah, another figure. I think that's probably Hanuman, the monkey god, because it's got all this hair around the outside. Very sort of rustic objects. But you can see these sort of things would just be lost unless someone actually curates like this and does something with it and tries to bring it back into the culture. Over time they just get dispersed, and you know, it's taken me 7 years to find this many, and if I'm here a little bit longer, hopefully I'll find as many again. And maybe once the process is started and the ball gets rolling, maybe if I'm lucky, it will come back into the culture again, and people will start using them again, because they're just wonderful. And the Nepalese have an absolutely amazing tradition of giving offerings, of giving flowers and sacrifices of animals, and special types of cake and alcohol. All the different gods have different things that they like, and particular flowers for the times of year, sort of poisonous plants and fruit for Shiva, and all sorts of, and special colours depending on the different gods, and lights for people like Lakshmi. So that process of interaction with the interior world of the archetypes of the gods within us, and then projecting that out into the physical process of giving something, is psychologically very interesting and important, and it also deepens the sense of integration within ourselves. So that's really how I've got interested in it. This is a Naga. So you've got there's a Naga here and a lamp and Ganesh, and either side are oh goodness, I've just forgotten his name. The one with the flute and the gopi. What's the
Krishna?
Krishna, yeah, Krishna and his partner, and playing the flute either side, and then a dragon in the bottom, and to be attached to a wall. So a little bit different, but I can see that they would have had probably a mould for that bit, and a mould for that bit, and that bit, and probably a mould for the top, and then that lamp has been sort of free-formed. And then this one's really amazing. I only found that quite recently. And this is Durga. So the Durga with her many arms, with all the different weapons as different attributes, and riding her tiger, or is it a tiger or a lion? And then she's defeating the demon, which in this case is in the form of a bull, or of a buffalo. So in the Durga festivals, they sacrifice a lot of buffalo, which is like the vanquishing of evil. So often the female goddesses have this fierce dimension to them, where they're actually protecting the good. So it's the sort of like the mother energy protecting the child, in a sense. They're protecting the good from evil. So here she's in her sort of full full rain destroying evil, and really, really nice object. So with things like that where I don't have a mould, I'm going to have to make like a silicon mould of that, and then have them made again. So that's let's see if there's any other variety. So there's some other. That's a Buddha. And you can see these probably would have had. I'm not sure who that is. It might be Bhimsen, the money god from the Nuwari. There's a lot of variety. Another one here with these amazing sort of clouds. It will be really exciting actually getting them all made and seeing what we've got. But that you can see they've got a real energy and quality about them. They're nice objects, but they're going to really come alive when we start making the objects. We'll start making the amulets again. So this is a little introduction, and I'll make another video when we actually start making them. And I actually have a few others as well of stupas and various other things that have somehow got separated from the group. So thank you very much. I hope you found that interesting, and I'll let you know when I'm doing the next one. Do subscribe and let me know if you want to hear anything and have any extra information about anything. Thank you, and see you at the next one.